Hello, welcome back to the channel. Up the Reds TV with me, Andy Canby. So it's Saturday. It's Friday the 8th of November. We play Aston Villa tomorrow night at 8 o'clock at Anfield, and I shall be going to that game. So looking forward to that. So let's get straight to it then, shall we? Arne Slot's press conference. Another fantastic press conference from Arne. Injuries first. Jota will hopefully be back after the international break, maybe 1 or 2 weeks later than that. So didn't mention Ali, didn't mention Elliot, and so we're not so sure, but hopefully those guys will be back probably around about the same time. But no other injury concerns, which is really good for us, So yeah, all in all, good on that side. So nothing we can do about that. He was asked about Jota's injury. He says he doesn't really like to say. It's not for him to mention those in the press conferences, which is really surprising to know as well. We know that the player's injured. When he's ready, he'll come back. Nothing about Chiesa, but he said he'll be back after the international break as well. Just watch this space on the Chiesa one, because this might be things that might be happening in the background that we do not know about, but more on that in the future. So yeah, he was asked about was he surprised about the expectations of how far the team have come in his first 10. Well, it's more than that, isn't it? 16 games. And he said no expectations. He said because he inherited a good squad, and he said no surprises there. But he's happy with how the team has progressed, and also he's happy that we've had a bit of luck on the way. And when he means by luck, he said, look, in the games where we've been fortunate not to concede, and we've turned it around and gone and scored the goals to win the games, or even draw the game, like at Arsenal. So he's quite happy with how everything is going with the team, but he has no expectations. The players don't. It's the players' job. He says they come in, they do what they need to do in training, and it's his and his coaching staff's job to get the best out of the players. And he was asked about individuals. Curtis, he said somebody said he's having a very good season. He started off slow, but is that down to him and his coaching staff? He said, look, when he first saw Curtis in pre-season, he went, wow. And and then obviously he said he slightly tailed off, picked up a knock, but he's come back stronger. He did make a light joke of it, that saying that it could be because he's become a dad, and he said I had nothing to do with that. So, which was, I don't know, probably some kind of Dutch joke. And he said, well, I think I didn't anyway. So, but yeah, Curtis Jones, he said that he's come back really, really sharp and fit, and his performances have merited that, and that's why he's in the team. But he's also saying that he's got good players around him as well. So that was good today. About Lucho, he said, is he surprised about how he started this season? And because his goal tally's gone up by 29%, and he said, well, no, not really. He said, but if that's the case, yet again, it is what the players around him are doing, giving him the opportunity to score goals. He said, from the left wing and as a centre forward, he said Cody's doing that, and also the other wingers on the other side. So he said we're getting goals from everywhere. What he did say was that he was surprised when they put him in that centre forward role. The reason they did that was they have a centre half, Leverkusen, who likes to battle in the air and wants to be in a fight. And he thought he'd bring Lucho to play that, or and to mix it up a bit. And he did that. And he said what really surprised him was that how effective he was in that role, and it gives him another option, which is great, really, because he's trying out new things, not new formations, but new things with the players, and the players are responding. Lucho was my man of the match the other night. He played superb, and if I'm honest with you, when I name my team shortly, he should be a shoo-in for the game against Villa. So yeah, he was asked about the expectations of the supporters, and he said, look, whatever goes on outside, the players don't take any notice. Him and his coaching staff don't take any notice of that. He said, we do the things that they do take notice of is how the players respond at Melwood, at the AXA training ground, and on match days. That's the important thing for them. He was asked about the crowd again, and he said, but I've got to say, the game against Brighton, he said the home crowd lifted the players. They could feel the energy in the stadium, and he said Leverkusen was an outstanding from start to finish, and he said that helped his players, and he's beginning to understand the atmosphere at Anfield, so that was good as well. He was asked about is Tsimikas his number one choice left back now, and he said no. He says I've got two very good left backs. He said Robbo came back, as he said, stated before, from the Euros injured, and so they're just trying to get him up to speed. But he said he's got, if anything happens to Tsimikas, he's got a perfect left back to bring off the bench, which was good to hear, and that'll be good for Tsimikas to hear. It's up to him to not give Robbo a starting berth in the games, up and coming games. Again, great. Then he was asked about the Villa, what he knew about Unai Emery, and he said, look, he's known of him. He said Unai Emery from last season, this season, has played 4-4-2. That's his preferred option. He doesn't play anything else, so he's not so sure which players will be playing against Liverpool tomorrow night. But one thing he is sure that Emery won't change his style, which will suit us down to the ground, because Villa have just had a bit of a slight hiccup in the last week or two with results and shall I say, performances. I mean, they're dangerous, don't get me wrong. On the counter-attack, they've got players that can hurt us, and but hopefully with them being in the Champions League, they've not experienced that as a squad of players, whereas Liverpool have. They were away, got a indifferent result against Bruges, so they were away last weekend to Tottenham and took the lead, but got a bit of a mauling in the second half. So yeah, games are catching up on them now. So it's interesting to see how long they can go on this season from last season, because last season there was no significant cup competitions for them. They got early out of them, didn't they? So but yeah, it's going to be a good game, a tough game. Come to Villa, come to Anfield on a Saturday night under the lights. Should treat it like a European game. There'll be a few of us who've had bevies before, so we'll be in the singing mood, and that's what I think Arne will expect of the Reds in the stands. So my team to start would be obviously Kelleher, Trent, Ibu, Verge, Simicas. Midfield is going to be Jones, Macca, and Ryan Gravenberch. That would be my inkling to do that. Possibly play reason for Jones rather than Slobosly, because I like what Jones did in the second half when he was pushed slightly further ahead, and then he did the damage, and he was playing good stuff. So maybe we can try and do that in the first half. Up front, I would have Cody on the left, Luis Diaz in the centre, and obviously Mo on the right. The reason for picking the same three that started against Leverkusen is simply the way that Aston Villa got mauled by Tottenham in the second half. It was all to do with pace, short passing, movement, and finishing. And I think Cody, Lucho, and Mo can be our finishers. We are going to win the game. I can't see Aston Villa getting anything from us. Maybe the odd goal, but I can see us playing really well and getting a result and taking us, back to the summit. Because is it Brighton, Man City before us? The game before ours. So obviously, if Man City beat Brighton at Brighton, they go above us. But we need to win and take us back to the summit, because that's what where we need to be for this international break. We'll have good options off the bench. Macca does look slightly tired, so I'm not so sure if he would start in that midfield, but maybe have Slobosly for Macca as an option, and he could rotate with Curtis. One sits in and one plays slightly further up. But we'll have to wait and see what team he picks there. I mean, when we come back after the international break, we've got 13 games to play before the Premier League break, which is it around about the 9th of January or something like that. But there might be an FA Cup game in that period, so the players might get 7 or 10 days off because of the schedule of the Premier League games, and also we've got 2 Champions League games, as it's called. So Real Madrid and is it Girona? Real Madrid at home and Girona away. But we've got some really beefy games coming up when we come back from the international break. Okay, that's enough from me. So as I said, I'm at the game tomorrow. I'll do a post-match on Sunday about the game. I'll get back later here on Saturday evening, so I won't bother doing one. And we'll get your thoughts and comments on that. But if you like this video, please give me a like, and please subscribe to the channel. It's all things Liverpool, and please share the video. Enjoy your Friday evening. Up the Reds.